Decision 2024 coverage now after nearly 40 years. Is it time for a constitutional convention in Rhode Island? That's a question voters will decide next week. NBC 10 political reporter Brian Crandall is here now with both sides of the argument and what's at stake. Brian?
Well, Patrice, the question of whether to hold a constitutional convention is posed by law every 10 years in Rhode Island. Now, if approved, each of the state's 75 House of Representative districts would send a delegate to the convention. Those delegates would then meet for a period of time and propose ballot questions for voters to decide. We, the people of the state of Rhode Island. Time for an update to this document? For 5 decades in a row, Rhode Island voters approved the constitutional convention to some extent. The last one, though, was held in 1986.
It's been a long time coming.
The battle over whether to hold a constitutional convention now seems to be split in large part along ideological lines. The political right for it.
So every 10 years we get this chance to bypass what I think is a corrupt and overly influenced General Assembly and put the power of government into what I call the fourth branch of government, or the people.
The left mostly against it.
It'll just cause a lot of chaos and be something that that we don't really need here. We know Rhode Island, and we know that this is going to get as political as it gets if we have a constitutional convention.
Conservatives claim a convention could bring what they call good government reform, like term limits, the line item veto for governors, and a state inspector general. Joe Powers heads the Rhode Island Republican Party, which has long been vastly outnumbered in the General Assembly.
You know, I'll take it away from the idea of it being Republican or Democrat. I take it to the point where we give the power back to the people. Give them the options to have the ability to have a say in government.
Vamala Pongsavong from Planned Parenthood heads a coalition, including unions and the ACLU, opposing the convention, calling it dangerous.
A constitutional convention could open up the floodgates for millions of out-of-state special interest money to come in to Rhode Island and roll back those civil rights that we worked so hard for in the last few years.
Mike Stenhouse started the Rhode Island Center for Freedom and Prosperity.
Newsflash, Rhode Island is already controlled by the special interests. They just don't want to give up their power to anyone else.
Another argument from opponents is that a convention could be used to roll back abortion access already established in the state.
Anti-abortion opponents were never satisfied with overturning Roe. They're working towards a broader agenda to roll back our freedoms and our rights.
That's very dishonest. They're using it as fear-mongering. They know, and we know, that a constitutional convention would be about good government reform.
Abortion was a big issue at the 1986 convention.
So folks voted in '86 on language that restricted abortion access in the state without knowing it.
State Senator Dawn Oyer argues some ballot questions that come out of conventions are confusing or misleading.
So if there are things that folks want to see changed in the Constitution, I would say we already have a process through that. It is through the General Assembly, and I think advocate for those things to be changed through the General Assembly. Those are folks who are elected to be accountable to the voters.
Opponents also claim the cost of a convention, is estimated in this case to be in the range of a few $1 million, would be better spent elsewhere. Supporters, though, argue it's worth the price. I'm Brian Crandall, NBC 10 News.